Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. It's the last day, full day of 2020, and we're going to talk some Browns, Cavs, and Indians. We're going to talk some Buckeyes, because they're playing the Nokia Sugar Bowl tomorrow. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. It's a Cavs trivia question. Who was the first Cavalier with 200 three-pointers in a single season? I will have the answer later in the podcast. Well, it's week 17, the final week of the NFL regular season. The Browns are getting ready to take on the AFC North Division champions, Pittsburgh Steelers, at First Energy Stadium. The Browns failed to clinch their playoff spot in a disappointing 23-16 loss to the New York Jets last week. It was a game the Browns should have won. The reason the Browns lost to the Jets last week is because Baker Mayfield had 3 turnovers. The Browns' defense looked horrendous and did not play well at all. And the Browns did not make the big plays they needed to make in the loss to the Jets. Now, this is a huge game for the Browns this week. They are in a must-win situation. The Browns must win against the Steelers on Sunday to clinch their first playoff berth since 2002. If the Browns lose, they still can get in if the Colts lose to the Jaguars, or a few other scenarios. Now, you can be sure the Browns are going to do everything they can to get the win against the Steelers. And the Steelers are going to do everything they can to make sure their rival gets knocked out. Having already clinched the AFC North title, the Pittsburgh Steelers announced on Tuesday that, and Mike Tomlin announced on Tuesday that Mason Rudolph will be the starting quarterback on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. Rudolph will take over for Ben Roethlisberger, who will be rested because the Steelers have already clinched a playoff berth. Pittsburgh's backup has not started any games this season. Sunday's matchup will be the first time Myles Garrett will be on the field with Rudolph as a starter since November 2019, when the Browns' defensive end attacked the Steelers quarterback with a helmet. Garrett, who alleged that Rudolph directed a racial slur at him, served a 6-game suspension in his role in the on-field altercation. It is essential for the 10-5 Browns to win on Sunday in Week 17 when the team hosts Pittsburgh, in order for them to advance to the NFL playoffs, without relying on other teams in a number of different scenarios, as I mentioned. And here are those scenarios. I'm going to tell you them right now. Cleveland would clinch one of the playoff wildcard spots with a win over the AFC North champions and Pittsburgh Steelers and rival Pittsburgh Steelers. Even with the loss on Sunday against the Steelers, the Browns would still have hopes of reaching the playoffs, but they would need some help. Here is scenario number 2. If the Indianapolis Colts lose to the 1-14 Jaguars, the Cleveland Browns would still make the playoffs. Now, scenario number 3, there's a second situation possible for the Browns to clinch a playoff spot if they lose on Sunday. The Tennessee Titans would have to lose to the Houston Texans, while the fellow AFC opponent, Baltimore Ravens, and Miami Dolphins both would have to win their Week 17 matchups in order for Cleveland to advance. The Ravens travel to Cincinnati to face the Bengals, and the Dolphins will play a road game against the Buffalo Bills. Now, I feel the Browns will get the win against the Steelers this Sunday because they're going to want to bounce back from their loss to the New York Jets last week. And I'm going to say the Browns 37, Steelers 34. That's my score prediction. Kickoff between the Browns versus the Steelers is on Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS 19. Moving on to the Cavs. The Cavs suffered their first loss of the season Tuesday night as they fell to the New York Knicks 95-86 Tuesday night at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Colin Sexton, led the way for the Cavs with 20 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. Andre Drummond, 18 points, 17 rebounds, 2 assists. Darius Garland, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. And JaVale McGee, 11 points, 9 rebounds. And Larry Nance Jr., 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And C.D. Osman, 6 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists. The Cavs were down 29-15 at the end of the first quarter because the Knicks put up 29 points in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, the Cavs put up 31 points while the Knicks put up 24 points in the second quarter. And the Cavs were down by 16 at halftime, 53-46. Both the Cavs and the Knicks put up 18 points in the third, but the Cavs were still down, and they were down by 7. They trailed by 7, 71-64 at the end of the third quarter. The Cavs really tried to battle back, scoring 22 points in the fourth, but the Knicks put up 24 points in the fourth, but the Cavs just could not get over the hurdle in this one as the Knicks win. They beat the Cavs 95-96. Andre Drummond notched his fourth double-double for the Cavs in this one. The Cavs were outscored by the Knicks in every way Tuesday night. The Cavs are now 3-1 on the new season, and they will begin a 6-game road trip as they will get ready to travel to Indiana to take on the Indiana Pacers this afternoon at Bankers Field, Life Fieldhouse, in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tip-off is at 3 p.m. this afternoon on Fox Sports Ohio, and you can also hear it on the radio home of the Cavs, WTAM 1100, and their sister station, 100.7 WMMS. Moving on to the Indians. The Cleveland Indians still have Francisco Lindor, and that's led some people and fans to ask why the 4-time All-Star is still on their roster when it's been such a certainty for the past year he would be traded. Baseball still faces economic uncertainty in 2021 as it's unclear when fans will be allowed to attend games. During the World Series, 12,000 fans were allowed for each contest. So look for some fans to pass through the turnstiles at Progressive Field in 2021. The Browns currently host 12,000 fans per game. The rest of baseball is different through different states, different laws. In the Blue Jays case, you're dealing with a different country. If Canada's government forbids Toronto from playing in their home park again, is it really feasible for the organization to take on Lindor at $20 million for next season. Okay, enough business. The return package is what the fans want to know about. And judging by baseball's early moves, it doesn't look good. Now, the dream package is for the Indians to receive a bona fide top prospect who's ready to take over in the outfield. Cleveland.com's Terry Pluto recently put the spotlight on Josh Bell, a 2019 All-Star the Pirates traded for Permanente brothers. Samich. Bell clubbed 37 bombs and hit 371, 936 OPS in 2019, but was a meh 226, with 10 bombs during the 2020 truncated season. The return was shockingly low. Eddie Yan, who pitched in rookie ball in 2019. The other is Will Crow, a 26-year-old who highly regarded early in his career, but he was 0-2 with an 11.88 ERA for Washington into 2020. He also pitched only 10 games with a 6.17 ERA in Class AA, Pluto wrote. Now, comparing Lindor to Bell is ridiculous. Frankie is far the better player. That said, he hit a 258 with a 750 OPS with 8 homers in the weird year of 2020. Some blame the lack of fans for zapping the charismatic's shortstop energy. Now, the point is a force in the middle of the order, and the Pirates couldn't recoup much in return. It's been written here before, teams value prospects more than ever, especially with owners hesitant to hand out money to free agents when they can't invite fans to games. And while we expect to go to games next season, a labor struggle looms as the players obviously want to play all 162 games to collect their full paycheck. While owners may look to shorten the campaign, ensuring enough of the population has received the COVID vaccine so that the public will feel safe attending games. Now, if you covet Lindor, it's just good business to wait one more season to land the former Gold Glove winner. When he is a free agent, in theory, things will be more normal in the summer of 2022, and he can be had for cold hard cash. No prospects, fans will be attending games. The public will be looking to get out and attend baseball games. Owners just might not sweat the risk as much. Circumstances couldn't be any worse for the Indians to trade their superstar. I still think he'll be traded because of ownership. Has shown no signs of wanting to pay anyone anything when it comes to money and payroll. However, fans are likely to be greatly disappointed with the return. And I will be back and I will reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. And I will have some Buckeyes news for you, so stay tuned. I'll be right back.